Welcome. In this lesson, we're going to glue the aluminum foil onto our sculpture base. This could be for our Giacometti sculpture project, or it might be for another sculpture project. Basically, you need to just wrap the aluminum foil around the edges, but I'm going to show you some of the problems that you might run into. Now, as we put this on, I've made this little diagram here for us and shown you where you're going to need to cut your aluminum foil so that as you wrap the edges around, taking this side and wrapping it around the edge here, this side then can also come up and wrap around like that so that you have a nice, clean, even corner. If you don't wrap it around, what will happen is this aluminum foil here will bunch up and will look kind of sloppy and will also just not stick quite as well. So to do this correctly, what I would like you to do is start with your sculpture base, and you should have a nice large piece of aluminum foil. One side is kind of dull and the other side is shiny. You can use your artistic choice to decide which one you want. I want the shiny side to be up, so I'm going to do my drawing on the dull side. I'm going to take my sculpture base and I'm going to put it top down like that so we can see inside of it. I'm going to kind of align it into the middle. Then I'm going to use a Sharpie, and we'll have our Sharpies out in the room, and I'm just going to trace around it, around the edge of it, to make the nice rectangle. And so here is the rectangle of my base. Then I'm just going to draw a 45-degree angle here, 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 and here, coming out from the corners. And that is where you're going to cut on these 45-degree angles. So I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut right on those pieces so that they're prepared for when we get to the part where we're going to glue them. All right. Now, as you cut, be careful not to cut too far, and be careful to make sure that you do a nice, neat job of that. Now, for our gluing, you're going to take your sculpture base and you're going to just use a regular Elmer's glue, and you want to spread the glue out. So I'm going to take this, and we're going to use the orange top glue bottles in class because you can't use the tapping glue because they just won't do a good enough job because you can't push on the cardboard. So I'm going to cover all of the sides, and then I'm going to smooth out the glue. Why do we want to smooth the glue out? We want to smooth it out so that it forms a nice tight bond with all of the aluminum foil. We don't want to leave spaces where the glue won't touch the aluminum foil. Otherwise, that aluminum foil over time is going to peel off. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my finger here and kind of smooth the glue out. Now, if you don't use enough glue and you smooth it out too much, it won't stick very well at all. But use just a nice even amount of glue and try to get it over all of the cardboard so all of the cardboard has some stickiness to it as you're working. Once you get done with smearing the glue and evening it out, you can take just a regular paper towel, all right, and wipe your fingers off. Okay. Then simply take your sculpture base, flip it back down right onto the lines, and press it nicely. And then just fold the first piece up and flip it over the edge. So here's the inside edge. I'm just going to tuck it over the edge and pull it nice and tight so there's not a lot of wiggles and bumps on the edge. So I'm going to just kind of readjust it, smooth it out so it's nice and smooth. Then I'm going to flip it over the edge like that. Now, if you come up with a little bit extra, like this big chunk here, you can simply you can either fold it under, or if it's too much, you can just use your scissors and trim it away. Like that. Okay, and that's just that extra piece. Flip this over the edge and just tuck it in so that it's nice and neat and isn't all crumpled up and wiggly and bumpy all over the place. This is part of craftsmanship. How is your craftsmanship on this assignment? This would be part of it. Now I'm going to take this next side and pull it gently and smooth it. And I cut my tin foil just nicely enough that I don't even really need to bend that edge around. So I'm going to leave that. And I'm going to take this next little corner here and just tuck it underneath. And then take this edge and smooth it from the bottom up. And you'll notice that this part here is overlapping. So I'm going to trim that off. And flip that over the edge so it's nice and smooth. Likewise, this part here that's overlapping, I'm going to trim it. And notice I haven't needed to get a lot of glue on my fingers. If you do get glue on your fingers and you need to wash them, you can wash them at the end when you're done. Okay, and again here I've got these little extra flaps. I'm just going to trim it. Fold that over the edge. Trim this one. Fold that over the edge. And I'm actually going to take this one and leave it and put a little dab of glue under there because I kind of ripped my tin foil. So if you need that extra piece, you can do that. And then if you have some places, and I'll do it on purpose just to have one, if you accidentally get a little dribble of glue on there and it dries, it'll look like a matte kind of color and it won't look very nice. You can just have a little water sitting at your table and take a paper towel and just wipe it off so that your tin foil still appears to be nice and shiny. Okay, so that's how you finish off the sculpture base for a Giacometti project or just any kind of sculpture base we might be using in art class.